G'day, it's Rusty from Rusty's Metal Cut Signs and Designs, and welcome to this video, which is a follow-up from the previous one where I made that big fire pit. And today, this is the fire pit here, and today the customers come to pick it up and we're actually going to set fire to it and we're going to do a little bit of cooking on it just to see how it works. So stick around for that and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we've got some kindling in it, we've got a bit of newspaper, we're about to light this thing for the first time. Alright, it's alive.
It works.
Alright, the fire pit's now got a fire in it. We've got, remember in the design we had air holes above and below the grate, so it's drawing really well. We've got these end holes as well that's getting air through it. And the idea of this grill that we made was it fits in and show it's locked into those little fingers. And now once the fire's established and we get a few coals in there, we'll be able to put a kettle on it. You can probably put a frying pan, probably wouldn't cook directly on the metal. Unless we make a solid plated one. And what we're going to do today is once this cools down, we're actually going to cook on it and we're probably going to make some jaffles. So stick around for that one. Alright, the fire's going a little bit better now. We've put a bit more wood in it. We've put a kettle on just to try it. And a gust of wind just come through a minute ago. And what it did was, instead of sort of blowing the fire everywhere, it's actually sort of boosted a little bit with the airflow through the fire pit, and we're not making any smoke. So that usually is a good indication that the fire is burning pretty well. So I'm really pleased that, like down here, you can see those fire holes above and below the grate, so they're working really well, and the air hole in the end is allowing that nice airflow. So pleased with the way it's going so far. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to use the jaffle iron, and we usually light it with baking paper, and we've got some chook and some cheese and tomato, and we're going to load this thing up and we're going to cook it on the fire and see how it goes. So this is the first jaffle iron we're going to make. It's got tomato, it's got an egg in it, and it's got chicken as well, and we're using baking paper instead of buttering the bread, and the idea being that we can just wrap that up. Oops, says he, try not to. And we'll close the iron up and we'll take it over and put it on the grill. And we've got the kettle on here, so I'll just move the kettle off. Ooh, that's hot a little bit, sure that's hot. And just lay that on there. We know the paper's going to sizzle a bit, but that's okay. And I reckon a couple of minutes we'll have a quick look at that one. Now that jaffle's had about a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to turn it over. And we'll see how that looks in a minute.
Oh, look at that, nice and toasty on top. Just close her up and check the other side. Well, a little bit more on that side to go, so back in about 5 minutes.
The jaffle is cooked. We're just going to take it out of here now. Oh, look at that. All right. If I can just take the paper off. Hang on, let's get a knife here. Oh, right, look at that. How is that for one jaffle cooked on the fire? Beautiful. I've got the dogs following me now, they want some. Yeah. Oh, I think we just cut that up and have a look, eh?
Oh, sorry, I spoke.
That's right.
Do you like diagonal or rectagonal?
Egg's a little bit runny, but that's nice. That's all right. Is that egg cooked enough?
Egg probably could have been done a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Oh, have a look at that. Maybe the egg could have a few minutes longer, but that looks really nice. Now that the fire's gone down a bit, we've just taken the grill off the top and we've just got the last of the jaffle iron cooking going on just directly on the coals. I wouldn't have done it normally because it's usually too hot in there, but because we've, like I said, the fire's starting to go down now, we're just directly on the coals, and it probably won't take much longer to cook than it has when it's on the grill. So yeah, and they are coming out a treat, these jaffles. Well, we finished cooking on the fire pit. It's worked out really, really well. I'd like to thank Dave for letting us set fire to his new fire pit. The design, some of the design features that I put into this were a little bit of trial and error. I mean, the size of the air holes above and below the grate, they're a little bit of trial and error. We weren't quite sure exactly what size to make them. We went with a 15mm hole and thought, well, if it's too big, we're probably going to have to revise it on the next version, but at the moment we're really pleased with the way it's worked out. So yeah, we just let it burn down now. It's burnt really, really well, so there's not much coals left in this fire pit, and which is a really good thing, so we've obviously got nice airflow. So yeah, really pleased with the way it's gone on, and we've cooked on it, we've boiled the kettle on it, and I can't be happier with its design. Alright, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. As I said, it was a follow-up to the previous one. We actually made the fire pit, and I'd like to thank Dave from Dave R 4x4 who wanted the pit, and it was like a collaborative effort because the design we originally made wasn't big enough and he wanted a bigger one, so I'm really pleased that we got to work together. And I'll put a link to Dave's channel in the description below, Dave R 4x4. So if you liked the video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, my subscribe button will be down here somewhere. And if you haven't seen the previous video where I built this fire pit, I'll put a link up here and you'll be able to check that video out. So thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.